Welcome to the Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Firehouse on WRHU 88.7. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in the Firehouse is my boy, Renand Accius. What's going on, brother?
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, Chris.
Doing good?
I'm doing great.
Listen, you my boy, so I know all about you, but tell the listeners who you are, what department you're from, how long you've been in the fire service, and I know you have both sides. So let's just start with what department?
All right. Right now, I'm a 18-year member of the New York City Fire Department. I work in Brooklyn, Squad 252.
There we go. Boop, boop, boop,
yeah,
boop,
been there.
boop.
Been there. I joined the fire department actually in 2003 as an EMT. Did that for 3 years, and then obviously shot over to fire at 2006. I'm also a volunteer firefighter right now. I'm in Freeport Fire Department, Truck 1, and I've been there for a few years. And also a former member of Uniondale Fire Department for about 15 years.
There we go, 15 years. So in total, what's the time that you got in the fire service for volleys, and then the time you have for?
Well, I'm not a good mathematician. We're gonna say over like 25 years. I started the fire department at 18. I joined as a firefighter, and before that, I was in the Explorers program from the age of 13. So
it's been there.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know you got some stories for me. So let's talk about a couple of the ranks that you held.
Yeah. So obviously, I went through the ranks of lieutenant, second lieutenant, first lieutenant, and captain in the Uniondale Fire Department. And recently, I've served as the second and first lieutenant of Freeport Fire Department. I chose to step down as captain, just I had a lot going on in my personal life. So let somebody who had the time to do it.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's good that you see that, because that'd be some of the problems, especially in the volleys, that you got to say, listen, I don't got the time right now. I'll step down, give it to someone that is gonna go there. So that's great that you saw that.
Yeah.
But so, listen, we're talking over 20-something years in the fire service, and I say this, almost every single time on the show. People are running that way. You decide to run this way into the fire. Yeah. Who in their right mind wants to run into a burning building, right? So my question to you is, what inspired you? What started you to say, you know what, I want to do this? So bring me from the beginning, from the first day you even knew about the fire department, and how you decided to, you know what, I want to do this from volleys, and then make it into your career.
Right. So just a short end of the story. I think what really brought me into helping people was my mother. She was a nurse. She'll say she's a nurse now. She's retired. But as being a nurse after school, when I was a kid, elementary school, a single parent, she'd pick me up after school, and then she'd take me back to the hospital. So I spent a lot of time just sitting in rooms in hospitals, waiting for my mother to get off, and seeing how she tended to people, cared for people. Wow. That played a big part of me just having that in me to want to help someone. When I got a little older, she introduced me to volunteering. I volunteered actually before the fire department in this place, Holly Patterson. If anyone's familiar with it, it's a nursing home in Uniondale.
Okay.
And
wait, what do you mean you volunteered there?
Yeah, so back in the days, we used to have this thing called candy stripers. Right?
I know candy stripers.
Yeah, so I was a candy striper in Holly Patterson. So I was the guy setting up the bingo. I was the guy setting up the games and moving people around. It was awesome. I liked it. You get to meet people at the different ages. And
that's definitely dope.
So with that being said, once a year, the fire department would come to the school, fire department awareness, fire awareness, and then I think from there I got the bug. I remember one year, I think it might have been 6th or 5th grade, they came in. They must have came from a good job, because I'm telling you, they smelled like they just went through a third alarm. I was like, what is that fragrance? The fragrance is something different. I'm like, I got to get involved with this,
what is
man.
This?
Yeah.
That?
And then they introduced us told us about the Explorer program. You turn 13, and then you can join to the Explorer program. I couldn't get in there quick enough. I couldn't wait till I turned 13. Yeah. 13 came. I did that. That was a whole, life learning experience in itself. Mm-hmm. Did that until I was 18. And in between that time, 13 to 18, you get to go to the firehouse. You're learning different trades. You're learning the EMS.
Yep.
You're learning how to, throw ladders, move ladders around. You're learning the terminology. You're learning the hoses, the engines, the trucks. You're learning all the aspects of the fire department. So by the time you turn 18 and you get to actually become a full-fledged firefighter, you know the stuff already. So you're already ahead of the curve.
You're already ready.
Between the outsider coming in. 18 comes, I joined the fire department, off to the races. What else comes after that? So yeah, I did that for maybe 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Joined the fire department, EMS.
FDNY now. So now we're moving on to FDNY.
Yeah. And let me
Okay.
tell you something. The only reason I got into FDNY EMS is because the fire department in Uniondale and meeting those type of people.
Yeah.
And Kevin Levy was a big guy for me, mentor. Who else? Who else? The other guy from Truck 4. McFinneran. Mike McFinneran.
Okay.
Another guy, man. Good dude. He was a big inspiration for me to go to the fire department and on the EMS level. So I did that in 2003, and did that for 3 years. I worked in Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Okay. And this is
This
as EMS.
This is as EMS.
So you're FDNY. So just so everyone know, the listeners that may not know, FDNY has two parts. It has the EMS and then firefighters.
Yeah.
So you started as EMS.
Yeah, under the same umbrella, same fire department, but just EMS and fire side. So I did EMS in 2003, and let me tell you, EMS in the cities is completely different than in Nassau County. There was things that weren't making the news that you would see all the time. You just see a triple shooting on a Sunday morning that didn't even touch the news, and it was just so crazy out there.
Wow.
It was crazy. But that was an eye opener into the real world. So I did that till 2006, and then 2006 till today.
Wow.
I've been doing a firefighting thing. I started off in Jamaica, Queens, in Engine 298. Did that for about I think I did that 3-4 years in the engine company, 298. Then after that, I went across the floor to ladder 127. Did that for about 12 years.
All right, so wait, we got to stop there for the
slow it
listeners.
down.
We got to stop there.
Yeah.
Because when you say, I know what you mean, but the listeners may not know what you mean.
Sure.
You went across the floor.
All right,
what does that mean?
so
Explain what that means.
Across the floor, literally what it says.
What it is.
What it is, right? So within a firehouse, a lot of firehouse, not every firehouse, there's an engine company that puts the water on the fire, and there's a truck company that puts the ladders into the buildings, do the search and rescues. Those are the ones with the ladders on top of the trucks. So I went from the engine company, from putting the water onto the fire. I crossed the floor, literally went to the truck
over there.
officer, like, listen, I want to do what you guys are doing. I want to throw ladders. I want to go search for people. I want to break stuff. I want to do that. I went in, and that worked out for me. So in 2009, 10, I got over to the truck company. I did that for about 12 years. That was the best experience. That whole firehouse is a great experience.
Yeah.
Learned
a lot.
Whether in the engine or the truck,
You just learned.
You learned a lot and you've seen a lot. So I did that. In 2018, I wanted to do more. Good guys that I know, Cameron Peak, Darrell Riddick, these guys are in my ear. Yo, go to SOC. SOC, for guys that don't know, because I know you're
So
gonna
we have
stop
Peak
me.
on the show. We ain't get Riddick yet. We're going to get Riddick.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm going to Riddick's house this weekend.
Yeah, tell him.
Yeah,
he needs
for
to be
sure.
on this show
For
next.
sure.
But go ahead.
Cam and Darrell, man, they pushed the issue of SOC. And SOC, for people that don't know, is a short-term acronym for Special Operations Command.
Okay.
So that they do a little bit of everything. They do, I should say we do, a little bit of everything. We do the engine operations, getting the water on the fire. We do the breaking windows. We get in there, we search. We look for fire.
You do it all.
We do it all. And then we do, and more so, we do water emergencies on the water. We do collapses. We do high-angle rescues.
So you're the elite. Elite of FDNY.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah. When the brothers need help and the sisters need help, we're coming for them.
You're coming for them.
Yeah, 100%.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. So, listen, 20 years, over 20 years, matter of fact, I'm saying it wrong. Over 20 years, I know you got some stories. I know you got some good stories. So I'm going to need at least 2 good stories that the listeners, whether it's EMS, if it's fire, whatever you want to give me, but I need 2 good stories. But before we start, I got a story.
Sure.
So I got a story of you, right?
Okay.
So my first fire, which is so crazy because you probably got so many fires under your belt, you don't even remember. Christmas Day, Dale Ave, and I've talked about it on this show before.
Yeah.
That was my first fire. I'm a probie. And I tell a story all the time. It's funny.
Remember it well.
I am this is the first fire. I am on the front lawn, fully scotted up. And any fireman know, what are you doing? Renand looks over at me. What are you doing? Right? I'm like, I don't know. That's what I'm supposed to do. Dude, we didn't even get there. So I end up taking the mask off. I get to the front door. You kick the door open and disappear into the smoke. That was it. And I was saying on the last show was, though I was scared to death, and I don't care what anyone says that you're not scared, of course you're scared. It didn't hinder me for the training that I've done with you, as well as when you go in with a senior man, you trust them. So I went and followed with no problem because I trusted, I'm going to be all right, you know?
Right.
But that was my story of Renand Accius.
Right.
I never forget that. That is etched in my brain to actually for the first time see all these flames and then see you walk in and just disappear into the smoke. I remember you went in and made the left, and I'm like, he's going. He ain't stopping. I'm going. Let's go.
Right.
But that's my story. But I know you got some stories. I know you got some.
Was that the same fire that Lamont fell into?
Yes. We've talked about that on this show 1,000 times because I've had a lot of Uniondale people.
That was a lucky Christmas for him, man.
That was a Christmas fire. It was Lamont went through. Then John Skelly, I think he got hurt.
Yeah.
There was someone else that got hurt too. A couple people got hurt and fell.
Yeah.
I think, was Joe Rodriguez too?
Joe Rodriguez.
Yeah. A lot of people
Yeah.
on that fire. Yeah. So that was a memorable fire for me, but that was my first fire, and I just remember that. It's etched in my brain forever.
Right. Oh, good, man.
Definitely.
Everyone made it home.
Everybody did. Everybody
That's
did.
what
Even
counts.
the people that fell, which we've talked about because we had Lamont on the show, and he was here. So.
Right.
But tell me, some memorable stories. Tell me. I need some stories.
Well, there's so many fires.
I know, but there's got to be some that stick out. There's got to be some.
Well, it's nothing crazy. I would say this, that when it sticks out. I'm not trying to be funny, but we go to a lot of fires, man. And not every fire is going to be the baby coming out of the window. It could be just, middle of the walk. First two guys got it, put the water on the fire, to put the fire out. Everyone goes home. But the Timothy Klein fire, I had that fire.
Okay.
And that's when we lost Timothy at that fire. That was a fire in Canarsie 2 years back, I believe it was at this point. But that stayed in my head just because it showed me no two fires are the same. It was a regular fire that you have in Uniondale or Freeport, right? It was like, we'll get this. It's no big deal. Got a little fire in the back. Get a hose line in the back. We'll put this fire out.
Mm-hmm.
We lost a guy that day in a private dwelling house.
Wow.
That stayed in my head because I'm like, this is just a normal bread and butter. It's not a fire in a projects. It's not a fire in a building walking up 7 stories, 6 stories. It's blowing out of the front.
Regular.
It's not fire coming
Bread
out of
and
the rear.
butter, box over box.
Yeah, man, and that just stayed on my head. It's not a crazy story unless you were there, because everything happened so quick. It went from, all right, we got this, into total chaos.
Wow.
And guys ended up jumping out of the second story window, which is actually second story, almost like 3 stories from that type of building. Guys jumped out the window. One guy broke his arm, what have you. The other guy, Timothy, he got burned up on the fire floor on the second floor. And it just happened so quick. So we ended up being tasked to go find this guy, because private dwelling, everyone's out. Fire, we knocked the fire down, and fire pretty much extinguished itself because it came up from the basement. And me and a couple guys went through the ladder in the rear. Darrell was at that fire as well. He had hands on a guy in the hallway. I remember seeing him upstairs. But just getting to this guy, we heard his pass alarm going off. And the pass alarm is something pretty much when you're not moving as a firefighter, it's a system that's on your mask. I believe after 30 seconds or so, it triggers. The
first series start.
Yeah, it starts going into a mode. After, I believe, 45 seconds a minute, it goes into a series where you can't shut it down. You have to you have to manually hit a button yourself for it to shut off. Now, when you hear that going off and no one's shutting it off and
It's scary now.
What's going on?
Yeah.
We knew we had somebody. So somebody in the back room was like, you guys hear that? Guys started making their way. Guys from Rescue 2 started making their way towards the front. Guy from my spot, 252, started making their way towards the front, and they ended up finding Timothy in the front room. And then I started following these guys. They ended up packaging them. We ended up turning them around, pulling them out the hallway and down the interior stairs.
Wow.
But, there's so many different fires, man. But that fire right there, it stayed in my head, man. And I'm telling you, it just showed me, and it just always is etched in my head. No two fires are the same.
It's the same. It's
because
the same.
anything can change in any given moment.
At any moment. Yeah.
Any given moment in the fire. So.
All right. Well, I need another one too, man. Because I definitely need another one. Because wow.
Yeah.
Because definitely wow, man. And R.I.P. But
Let's see.
you know what, for the listeners too, just so they know, like, you know, that line that he just said, no two fires are alike. I just want to make sure that y'all understand what he means by that. Like, no two fires are alike. That what he's saying is that this was a typical fire that you go to all the time, where you look at it and you almost underestimate it. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we can do this, and then look, we end up losing a guy on something like this that you never know. And this is the job that, whether you're paid or volunteer, that you chose, you know. And fire doesn't care whether you're volunteer or paid.
Right.
So but talk to me.
I got one more good story.
All right, good. Talk to me.
It's not a fire though, but it's
all right.
it's a good
story. It's a story. Let's do it.
So I told you I'm in Special Operations Command, right? We do different things. So one of the things we do a lot, people may not know that, when people get struck in New York City by trains, we are tasked to go there and respond and go under the train and get these individuals.
And what? And clean up the body?
No, we got to. Some people make it out of there. Sometimes we remove the bodies. If we don't remove the bodies and it's deemed by us as a DOA, New Police Department, emergency services guys, they go underneath there and they remove the body because it's a crime scene. But if we go there and we deem this person is viable, we'll go under there. If we got to lift the train, we got to push the train, whatever we got to do, we're going to move that person from out of the under the train.
Wow. See, that's something I would have never known.
Yeah.
I would have thought that was ESU that would have go and do that.
Nah, we're down there more than often.
Wow.
We're down there a lot.
So go ahead, keep going.
So we go to, I think it was like 2 years ago, I think it was, and it's another story with Cameron. I don't know how we always meet up, man. It's my boy. But so we get there, we get a confirmation that there's somebody under the train. So whatever, I get down there to the tracks. I start crawling under. I got the can position. The can position is normally the guy who makes first contact with the individual in the train. So I get down there. I'm like, all right, this guy's under. He's alive. He's talking to me. I look down, and I'm like, all right, it seems like the train tied, the trucks ran over his legs. I couldn't.
All right, wait. I don't want to cut you off, but I got to cut you off.
Sure.
You know, everyone's like right now thinking third rail. Are you going to get electrocuted? You got to add that in there. So are you looking for, like, what is that whole thing?
Yeah, so we're obviously trained in all of this stuff, but we know and we're very diligent, and we're always thinking in the back head that third rail because you don't actually have to touch the third rail. That guy could be touching the third rail.
All right.
And you touch that guy, you're
it's
jammed up. Yeah, you're going to have a quick memory of nothing.
Okay.
So yes, we keep it in mind. So obviously we get down there, like, all right, we're going to automatically call for third rail power to be shut off.
Okay.
But when we get down there, if we see somebody who's viable, it could be a kid down there. We've had those.
You're going to go down there.
We're going to go down there and
whether
try to tell them don't move.
Whether the third rail is going or not.
Right. We're going to operate as, as we would.
Okay.
Due diligent, right? So with this run, I get down there. I'm like, all right, this guy, he's talking. He's right. I think at that point we had power off. So I'm down there. So we got we have packaging devices where we could put down there. And we call it like a burrito. We put him in and we just wrap him up, and that way it's easy for us to move him from underneath the train, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's called the reed sleeve, if anyone wants to know. So I get down there. Now Cameron comes down there. He's in rescue too. He comes down there. Now he's next to me, right? So now we're crazy people. Anybody who wants to do this stuff, you got to be a little bit of craziness, right?
A little bit off.
So Cam comes next to me, and he's like, yeah, joking around. But we still tend to this guy as we were professionals. And next thing you know, he taps me on my shoulder. I'm like, what's up, Cam? He hands me this guy's leg. I'm like, dude, he handed it to me like he was handing me like a football. Yo, it was so crazy. Like, yo, this guy. It was just one of those.
That's one hell of a memory.
He's like, yo, hold this. Give me the leg. I'm like, all right. So
when did you realize? Like,
well, I knew his leg got caught. I just didn't know how bad because we get a lot of those. And sometimes it could be hanging on by a ligament, a tendon, or something like that. Yeah. And we're not surgeons. We're not going to cut it off. We just try to keep it.
As much as you can.
As packaged as we can. But
this one was totally off.
This instant was off. This guy actually.
Like,
this guy actually wanted to kill himself because he was saying, "I can't even kill myself. I can't even kill myself." Right. So that's one of those things that we had, and it was just like one of those moments that, as firefighters, we try to keep it light, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things because if you don't keep it light, these things will haunt you every night. You won't go to bed.
It'll consume you. Yeah.
You'll end up drinking every night. You have bad nights, and it'd be stupid. So we keep it light, and that was just one of those lighter moments. That was a real tragedy for that guy. And it's just another day for us.
But wow.
Yeah.
But wow. He said, gee.
He hands me like it was a taco, bro. I'm like,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, where'd you put it?
In that packaging device, it's big enough. We just wrapped it right next to him.
You just wrapped it and put that right next to him.
Yeah. We try to keep that stuff together. That way, when they go to, if they can reattach it.
If they can reattach it, they can.
Yeah. We got some good doctors out there.
Wow. I mean, that's something new that I'm pretty sure no one knew that FDNY does that. I thought that was an ESU kind of special for, police that go down there and come take the body
It's like Ghostbusters, right? It's like, yo, who are you going to call? call. When in doubt, you got to call the fire department. Yeah,
You're
we're
right.
coming.
You're
We're
right.
gonna fix
They're
it.
gonna come.
Plumbing, whatever it may be, we're gonna come fix it. You need your water turned off, your gas turned off, your heat turned off.
Seriously?
Yeah, we're not. If you're saying like, yo, you smell gas, we're gonna come.
You're gonna come and
shut
come
the
turn
gas
it off.
right?
If there's
steam in your
you're
apartment,
gonna call the fire
gonna
department, and
shut-
we're gonna. So you're right.
we're gonna
you're
mitigate it. Who
We're
you
gonna
gonna
do
call?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I didn't even think about it like that. You're right.
Yeah.
That's the first place you're gonna call.
Yeah.
For anything.
It's 911.
You're right. Who you gonna call?
100%. 100%.
All right. So I got a question for you.
Yo.
And this was a question that, throughout the show that a lot of people were, had different answers for. But what is a common myth about firefighting that you want to debunk right now for the listeners?
All right. Common myth.
Common myth. Let me tell you one common myth.
Go ahead.
One common myth that someone debunked was that firefighters don't get cats out of the tree. And I thought that was great to say that, but what you have?
I've seen cats. I've been on runs where we got cats out of trees.
Tree?
I've been to one out of a tree. I've been to one off of a roof, and I've been to one from underneath.
Seriously?
Underneath the vehicle.
So they called and was like, "My cat
Yeah.
is on the
But,
roof."
I don't know how to call actually how we received the call. It was a while
Of
ago,
course.
but
Yeah.
sometimes people say things
Say
just to
things.
get us there. And then once we're there, the story
My
changes.
cat is in the tree, buddy.
Yeah. So we had one time. It was underneath the car, and this guy, one of the brothers, went to go grab it from underneath the car, and the
Of
cat
course, scratching them up.
destroyed him, man. And I was like, I'm never doing it, man. I'm not doing it. I don't like cats to begin with.
Well, listen. So when we talked about that, they said they never seen it, but I guess that
I've
has
seen it.
happened.
I've had it.
All right. So what do you got? What a common myth that we're gonna debunk right now?
Right now, we don't sleep at work. We don't sleep.
There we go.
We rest. We rest. We don't sleep. We rest.
You
Honestly,
rest.
we don't, because at the end of the day, if I'm sleeping, I don't hear anything at home.
That's right.
I shut it down. At work, the radios are going. The phone might ring. There's so many different things we listen up for. In our sleep, the radios are going. So if there's a firebox going out or something serious going on in the city, somebody's listening. We all have to be listening to that.
Especially as soon as it goes off, you want to you want to know
Right.
where it is and all of that.
Right. And special operations, a lot of times, we don't initially get the call for it. If it sounds like it's something that might escalate to something else, we'll just go out the door. We'll just turn out for it and start making our way that way. So we're always listening. So we do rest. We don't sleep.
We rest. We don't
rest.
sleep.
We rest. We don't sleep, man. So debunked.
Everybody debunked right now.
No doubt.
So with that said, you heard what he said. If you want to come down any day. You see people there, you
100%.
see cars in front, come there, knock on the door. Somebody will come in, let them know you want to join. And go to any of your local fire department, and they will point you in the right direction and tell you, hey, you join here or join here, and give you what you need to do to join. So if my listeners are out there that want to join, please go do it any day of the week, like you said. So listen, I got a game for you, Renand. I got a game for you. All right,
I like a game.
This game is called the flashover. Really quick, as quick as you can. What is a flashover?
Okay. A flashover is when it gets to a heated point in a room, and there's nothing else to burn in the room.
So,
And that's when everything else is burnt out.
yep.
That's when the room's gonna flash.
And if y'all heard, he snapped real quick. Boom, everything flashes over, right?
Right. And by the time for firefighters, we're gonna know it's that time, because when it's unbearable and you're
You
pretty
know
much
it's
belly
coming.
down to the floor, if you're not at a window or out of a window, you're in a bad
You're
spot.
in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So the whole point of flashover, the game is about it being quick, right? Just like a flashover, it happens really quick, right? So in this game, I might ask you something like Android or Apple, and you got to tell me what you think. But we're gonna do TV shows and movies, all right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I need you to answer really quick. That's the name of the game, flashover, really quick. Got it?
You're gonna give me an option.
I'm gonna give you an option. You
Okay.
give me which one, really quick.
Okay.
Ready for the flashover?
Sure.
All right, let's get this going.
Do it.
Chicago Fire Rescue Me.
Rescue me.
Rescue Me third watch.
Third watch.
Backdraft ladder 49.
Out of 49.
And the most important question I'm going to ask you today, engine or truck?
Truck.
He gave it to me, truck. Listen, we have some people on engine, some people on truck.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were talking about that because some people were saying engine, some people were saying truck. And a lot of the engine guys, of course, we're going to say engine. I'm an engine guy.
Yeah.
But, I was telling stories of like we go to fire school and it's like, you've did this engine thing 1,000 times. The first thing I'm going to do is go over to a truck company. Can I go with y'all?
Yeah.
Because I want to, do something different and vice versa. But
So don't get it twisted. I'm in a squad company in Brooklyn, right? 252. We have first due, second due, and third due boxes. Those first, second, third due boxes, I'm an engine company.
okay.
So I'm
You're
engine
doing
all
both.
day. I'm engine all day. Listen, I can stretch holes with the best of them, but I can also ladder buildings and do searches aggressively as the best guy in any company.
And is that more your passion, doing that versus, because would it be considered a passion? Like, I like engine, like you've done both, but if you have a choice, you'd want to do truck work.
It depends. Listen, any fire department will tell you there's no better position than a nozzleman.
Of course.
First do job.
That's right.
You got that position every time you're going to work. If you can guarantee me I got the nozzle every time I'm going to work,
I want to be in the engine.
Keep me in the engine. I'm not going nowhere. But now there are important positions in the engine company.
Yeah.
You got the nozzleman, you got the backup man, you got the doorman, and then you got the control guy. So there's 4 different positions. And the nozzleman and the backup man is the only 2 people really, unless you got a really, really, really good fire, and then you're just moving guys up and down on the line, and you just exchange positions. The nozzleman and the backup man is going to be the ones that are going to.
And not even so much the backup man, because he's just taking the beating. He can't even see nothing. He's head down, making sure you're good.
Yeah, he's taking the beating.
He's taking the beating, so it kind of sucks.
Right.
And of course, everybody see on video, I'm the big guy, so I'm always, designated backup guy. Especially, I'm pretty sure in FDNY, you have your position, but in Volley World, it's who shows up.
First come, first serve.
And if Chris is here, I need you as backup, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, sure.
So,
yeah.
But no, that's funny that you say that. But definitely, I guess it's not, whatever, if you could get that nozzle every time, I'd be an engine man.
Yeah.
And I feel like with truck, I guess you I don't know, how is it compared to engine? Like
with the truck, you're operating more by yourself, right?
Okay.
You're like your own boss. The engine company, like the nozzleman, the backup guy is like the nozzleman's cheerleader, right? Because you can have a new guy, because right, you say you pull up in the firehouse and you're like got a new guy there, and like I'm gonna be the backup because I want to make sure we get this line moved.
Yeah.
He may not be as confident, but if you're behind him, giving him that cheerlead, I'm like, yo,
He's
let's
good.
go. Let's go.
Let's
Another
go.
10 feet, let's go.
Let's move. Let's
That's
go.
going to make a big difference, right?
Yeah.
So as far as the truck, you're operating by yourself. You're not going to have that cheerleading voice. You're not going to have that person. You got to have that within yourself to make that move, to make that extra room. There may be a kid up on the second floor. You may have to be like, can I make those stairs? I know there's fire underneath me, but can I make that stairs get to that room and still find the window to bail out if I need be?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different
It's
thinking.
a lot of different things
A lot of
going
different
on.
thinking.
Okay.
So the truck is a lot of work, man. It's a lot of self-thinking and being on your toes and being heads up all the time.
So really quick, I need you to tell me, in these movies, there's a lot of over-dramatization of things. Tell me the most exaggerated thing you've seen on TV, knowing what you do for a living, and then seeing this. On all those shows we just said, it's a movie.
A lot of times you'll see like a Chicago fire. I'd start watching that with my wife recently, and you'll see these buildings. It's going to blow. Like, how do you know it's going to blow? And like clockwork, 5 seconds later, guess what happens? The building blows up. I'm like, I haven't been to a building that blew up yet. If you tell me it's a gas explosion, all right. But other than that, I haven't been to a building for a regular fire and it blew people out of the windows yet. And I've been doing it for a little while.
It's funny. I had Kevin Madigan on there, and he said that. He said that a while ago they had a taxpayer that they pulled up to, and boom, it blew. He was telling me about it.
So
he was like, and again, no one counted it down. He just said they were going there, they pulled up, started to scout up, and boom.
And I think that was a backdraft.
Oh, see? Look at that.
Yeah, that wasn't a gas. That was actually behind in Freeport, behind my firehouse. That was a fire. Guys were lucky no one died. They pulled up. It was sealed up so tight, it blew out the front windows.
Wow.
Yeah, it blew out the front windows. Guys had glass in the rigs. Guys had glass in their face. Glass. Yeah,
because you don't expect that scotting up. You pretty close. You getting there ready, and boom.
Yeah.
Listen, all right, so I got one last question for you.
Just one, that's it?
Just one. This goes quick, right?
All right.
One last question. What is one piece of advice that you would give someone that's listening right now that either wants to join or is in right now and they're just new?
I would say for the person that wants to join, first of all, being that this is 2024, my opinion, they're making it more, the fire service in general, Nassau County Fire, it make it a little bit more difficult to join because there's so many classes to take. There's so much time and dedication needed. You have to come in with that open-mindedness and that willingness to learn. There's a lot of classes to take, a lot of time away from your family. You just got to look at the big picture at the end of the day, right? This is for a reason, a good cause, and you're going to be helping yourself 100%. You're going to be helping the community 100%. So just knowing that and have that in your head that you need that time allocated to do this, and I think you'll be a better person for that
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love to hear that, man. Listen, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming down
Yeah.
and doing this, man. I want to make sure, like I've told everybody, this is the first season, so I want to make sure that you come back.
Yeah.
All right? Got to come back for another show.
You got to get like all the three amigos.
I know,
Me,
get
Darrell, and
everybody
Cam.
down
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
just sit down.
Those are my boys.
It was funny because I was talking to, I forgot who it was, but they were saying that I need to do it in the Firehouse one and then have like 10 people in there or 5 to 10 firemen in there. It would be insane.
Chris,
I don't know if I could do it on the radio. That would be the problem.
If you could, you're always open to come to my firehouse any
love
given
that.
day, man.
Thank you.
Freeport
Thank
is
you.
always open to you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you,
100%.
brother.
Yeah.
All right, listen, I hope y'all enjoyed that. We just heard from Renand Accius. He is in Truck in Freeport about his life as a firefighter. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Please like, share, subscribe. I am your host, Chris Moses for WRHU 88.7 FM. Please tune in next week for another great conversation in the Firehouse.
Join in the festivities as Chief Anthony Capone and the Valley Stream Fire Department hosts the Nassau County Firefighters Parade in conjunction with Engine Company 4's remarkable milestone of 100 years. On Friday, June 21st, indulge in delicious food and refreshing beverages provided by Paul Evans Catering and live music by Crucify. On Saturday, June 22nd, grab a chair and witness the Valley Stream Fire Department host the Nassau County Firefighters Parade, starting at Rockaway Parkway and Wheeler Avenue and ending at the Village Green with children's amusements, food and beverage, and a live performance by Decadia. Celebrate WRHU, the greatest show on earth.